Hello friends, and welcome to CJoy Yoga Online Studio and Wellness channel. Since the beginning of the year, each week we have been working with a different element, and this week is the week of fire. So, rather than me going into all of the things about fire, follow me, right? I have other practices, asana practices that delve a little deeper into it, but the basis of it is that this is the element of transformation. And one of the main ways that we one of the main ways we see this show up in our body is digestion, and the easiest one for us to grasp is digestion of food. We eat food, right? It comes into the body transforms it and integrates, right? Assimilates some of it and uses it and makes energy, and then it eliminates that which it does not need. But this is also true of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our experiences, and we want to be able to digest them and transform them so that they become a deeper understanding, right, in ourselves. And so this is going to be just a little meditation, playing a little bit with that element of fire. So just so you know, it's between the belly button and the xiphoid process. Could be two big landmarks you could use. If you just take your hand just a little bit above your belly button, that is the front side of the solar plexus. And if you take another hand, if it's okay with your shoulder, that is, you're going to just match that on the back side of your body so that you have one hand on either side of your body, and that's the back side of your solar plexus. So now if you want to leave your hands here for just a few moments, please feel free. I find it super helpful to have the physical touch to come into contact with my awareness to that place. So close the eyes. You could also, of course, just have your hands on your legs, sitting up nice and tall. And so as you start to come into this area, the area between your hands or where your hands were, I want you to think about that area as having a golden sun, just like the earth has sun that generates energy for all of the earth. We have this little golden sun inside our solar plexus, and this generates energy for our body. And bringing your awareness there, notice if you have any sensations at all. And by the way, anytime you're ready, you can bring your hands down. You could leave them up there the whole time. But now that you have that physical impression, that imprint of where the hands have been, right? Maybe you feel where the hands were touching, right? Even if that is the cloth that was between the hands and the skin. So maybe you feel sensation on the skin itself. But then just even notice, can you dive a little deeper into the internal body, and do you have any awareness of any sensation on the inside of the body? And the answer to that might be no, and that's okay. There is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad. And as you bring your awareness to this part of the body and you imagine, you envision that golden sun that generates energy, I want you to think of that energy starting to emanate out from that solar plexus region. And just think of that moving out into the entirety of your body. If it's easier for you, just work with the color yellow, or just feel the energy and not deal with thinking about it as the sun, right? Different strokes for different folks. But can you imagine that that energy generated in that solar plexus starts to move out into all the other areas of your body? For any of my friends who follow chakras, this is our solar plexus, our Manipura, and this is where we have our personal power, our sense of identity, our will. And I mean willpower, but also your wills that, you will in the world. We have our needs and we have our wills, yeah? And then while we're in this area and before we end the meditation, I would love for you to take just a few moments back in that solar plexus area And they have two questions for you to play with. One is, what do you really want? If I may add just a little guidance with that, what do you want intrinsically, not externally, not I want a Porsche and I want this fancy house and a vacation in Rome, right? I don't mean that. Intrinsically, internal values, right? Internal ideas. What would you like? To be loved, connection with my community, touch, to be in nature more, whatever it is, whatever that is. And of course, you could always come back to this or write something down afterwards, sit longer, but I'm going to go into the next question. And the next question is, what are your strengths? We so easily can point out our weaknesses, but what are your strengths? And that might be physical strength, but can you go deeper than that? Again, I'll encourage you to go a little deeper. I think one of my biggest strengths, I'm not saying this is what you should have, but through the years, what I thought was a weakness, my vulnerable heart, has become one of my biggest strengths once I embraced that. So what are your strengths? And try to find at least one. And again, you can come back to that at any point in time, throughout your day, throughout your life. So go ahead and just one more time, bringing your awareness to the solar plexus with the simple mission of feeling that area. What physical sensations do you have? One of the elements of fire, right? Hot, it's sharp. But one that I love is it spreads. Fire spreads. So imagine that strength, those strengths, those ideas of what you want, those intentions spreading. Maybe that physical sensation you felt spreading. And bringing your hands back to your heart, take an inhale. Exhale, bowing the head in. A moment of gratitude. The more we are grateful for what we have, the more we have to be grateful for. Namaste. And of course, you could turn off right now, but I'd like to add just one more thing. It's just been my journey with power. I had some really poor examples of power when I was young. People who would get really angry or hurt other people or do not nice things, things like that. And so I always had a real, I've been scared of my own power. I haven't wanted to step into it because it frightens me, because I've seen it abused so many times, right? We just had an administration who just abused the heck out of it every day and caused a lot of harm to a lot of people. And about a year ago or so, I wish I knew who to credit, but I read this little article and they talked about the difference between power, being powerful, and being empowered. So for about a year now, I have been working with, can I be empowered? And it's been powerful. Sorry for the use of that word again, but it has been. It's been super powerful. And I'm finally learning to step into it without so much fear of how much power I hold. I'm empowered, and empowered to me implies that I'm not going to abuse that power or hurt other people with that power. I'm going to be empowered in myself, and therefore I can help all of my community along the way. So if that's a helpful tool at all to you, I don't know where I decided I wanted to share that. Be well, friends.